I don't believe that there's like a single threshold of intelligence for humanity, because I mean people have different skills. And at some point, I think that AI is going to be is probably going to surpass people at most of those things, depending on how powerful the models are. Um, but I think it's progressive. And I don't think AGI is one thing. I think it's you're basically adding different capabilities. So multimodality is kind of a key one that we're focused on now, initially with photos and images and text, but eventually with videos. And then because we're so focused on the metaverse, kind of 3D type stuff is important. Um, One modality that I'm pretty focused on that I haven't seen as many other people in the industry focus on this is sort of like emotional understanding. Like, I mean, so much of the human brain is just dedicated to understanding people and kind of like understanding your expressions and emotions, and I think that that's like its own whole modality, right? That I mean, you could say, okay, maybe it's just video or image, but it's like clearly a very specialized version of those too. So there's all these different capabilities that I think you want to basically train the models to focus on, as well as getting a lot better at reasoning, getting a lot better at memory, which I think is kind of its own whole thing. It's, I mean, I don't think we're going to be, primarily shoving context or kind of things into a query context window in the future to ask more complicated questions. I think that there will be kind of different stores of memory or different custom models that are maybe more personalized to people, but I don't know. I think that these are all just different capabilities. And then obviously making them big and small, we care about both because, we want to, if you're running something like Meta AI, then we have the ability to, that's pretty server based. But we also want it running on smart glasses. And, there's not a lot of space in smart glasses. So you want to have something that's very efficient for that.
What is the use case that if you're doing tens of billions of dollars worth of inference, or even eventually hundreds of billions of dollars worth of inference, if you're using intelligence in an industrial scale, what is the use case? Is it simulations? Is it the AIs that will be in the metaverse? What will we be using the data centers for?
I mean, our bet is that this is basically going to change all of the products, right? So I think that there's going to be a kind of Meta AI general assistant product. And I think that that will shift from something that feels more like a chatbot, where it's like you just ask a question and it kind of formulates an answer, to things where you're increasingly giving it more complicated tasks and then it goes away and does them. So I think that that's going to take a lot of inference. It's going to take a lot of compute in other ways too. Then I think that there's a big part of what we're going to do that is like interacting with other agents for other people. So whether it's businesses or creators, I guess a big part of my theory on this is that there's not just going to be like one singular AI that you interact with, because I think every business is going to like want an AI that represents their interests. They're not going to like want to primarily interact with you through an AI that is going to sell their competitors' customers. So, their competitors' products. So yeah, so I think creators is going to be a big one. I mean, there are about 200 million creators on our platforms. They all basically have the pattern where they want to engage their community, but they're limited by hours in the day, and their community generally wants to engage them, but they're limited by hours in the day. So if you could create something where an AI could basically, where that creator can basically own the AI and train it in the way that they want, and can engage their community, I think that that's going to be super powerful too. So I think that there's going to be a ton of engagement across all these things.